place in this world I'll belong when I'm gone. I won't know the right from the wrong when I'm gone. You won't find me singing this song when I'm gone, so I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here.
I won't breathe the pricing air when I'm gone. I can't even worry about my cares when I'm gone. Won't be asked to do my share when I'm gone, so I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here.
I can't see the passing of the time when I'm gone. The pleasures of love will not be mine when I'm gone. My hand can't pour the red wine when I'm gone, so I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. I can't be running from the rain when I'm gone. I can't say who's to praise or who's to blame when I'm gone. Can't even suffer from the pain when I'm gone, so I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here.
I won't see all of the sun when I'm gone. The evenings and the mornings will be long when I'm gone. Won't be singing louder than the guns when I'm gone, so I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here.
I can't tell the foolish from the wise when I'm gone. I can't question how, when, or why when I'm gone. I can't be laughing at their lies when I'm gone, so I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. There's no place in this world I'll belong when I'm gone. I won't know the right from the wrong when I'm gone. Won't find me singing the song when I'm gone, so I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. Yes, I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here.
A lovely piece by Stephen and Pernilla Quigg. Welcome back to Marymass TV. Hope you're all having a very nice Monday morning. A few quick things before we get in with today's episodes. If you keep an eye on our YouTube channel, we'll have our greasy poll video. Also, a quick shout out to Cancer Research UK for donating the chairs. That will be here in today's video, and later on we will be joined by Joyce Hodge, a very special guest from the Folk Festival. But first, we'll be taking it back to Stephen and Pernilla Quigg for another musical piece.
That's why you're here.
Okay. Now this is a song called Steal Away. It's a love song, and it's a song just about maybe a couple from Irvine, or people who are just sort of just desperate to get away somewhere new. And it's a great song. It's a standard in the folk scene, and it's beautiful. It's called "Steal Away." Steal away, steal away, no reason left to stay. Let me and you start anew, darling, steal away. Let's steal away and chase our dreams and hope that no one finds us. The dreary days, the emptiness, we'll leave it all behind us. Steal away, no reason left to stay. Let me and you start anew, darling, steal away. We'll leave behind the city streets, the gloom and desolation, the rain, the cold, just growing old. God knows it's a hard old station. Steal away, no reason left to stay. Let me and you start anew, and darling, steal away. Let's steal away, and make a new beginning. We have to choose to win or lose, and it's time we started winning. Steal away, no reason left to stay. Let me and you start anew, and darling, steal away. Steal away, no reason left to stay. Let me and you start anew, and darling, steal away. Let me and you start anew, and darling, steal away.
Oh, welcome back. Another brilliant piece by Stephen and Pernilla Quigg. We are actually joined by Joyce Hodge and Stephen himself. Thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you.
So tell us a bit about yourselves. Who are you, and what is it that you do?
Let you go first, Joyce.
I'm Joyce Hodge. I'm the Secretary and Treasurer of the Marymass Folk Festival and Devon Folk Club. I've been involved for 53 years.
Very nice. Self, Stephen?
53 years. I think the first Marymass Folk Festival I sang, it was in 1977.
All right.
So that's whatever, how many years ago that is, 44 years ago, something like that. And I remember they had just built this new Rivergate Centre, and we all used to come down here and busk in the afternoons, and then we would go up to the Eggleton Arms, the old Eggleton Arms Hotel. That was like in the hub of the folk festival. All the concerts took place there. You know, it was a magic time, wasn't it? Anyone and everyone in the folk scene passed through Irvine at one time, you know, and they still do with the folk club. Yeah,
they used to be queued from the Eglinton right up to the post office.
Really? Wow.
Queues.
Aye. I mean, and also the folk club at that time, it was. I mean, if you weren't there at 7 o'clock on a Wednesday night, you couldn't get a seat. You know, you just couldn't get a seat. I mean, that's how it was. You know, it was really, you know, that's how the folk scene in Scotland was at that time. You know, it was real vibrant. You know, and there was folk clubs in every town. You know, I think there used to be 2 folk clubs in Irvine.
There's 2.
But did you know Murdo, the organiser of the other one?
What?
Right, so that's why it's only this one that survived. Yeah, that's fine. Do you know how we spell, Joyce?
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite a fan of folk music. I go to Eden Festival, and you get kind of Rabbie's Tavern. That's kind of old, kind of folk rocky. And what actually got you into kind of folk rock initially?
I'm not really into folk rock. I mean, I'm into sort of traditional folk music. You know,
tradition.
I mean, they used to have a couple of folk rock bands come to Marymass. New Celeste was one of them. Remember New Celeste? They were a kind of progressive kind of folk rock band, and but I mean, it was mainly the traditional sort of music that I was interested in. You know, traditional Scottish music. You know, you could ask any bloke my age, you know, in Scotland, who got them into folk music, you know, and they would say the Corries.
Yeah.
They would say the McCalmans, Robin Hall and Jimmy McGregor, you know. These were the people who were sort of big for us, you know, big for me anyway. I don't know about you, Joyce.
Well, Jimmy McGregor's still.
Aye, he's still alive, aye.
Strutting around.
That's right, aye.
No, I got involved at the very beginning, and it was totally, I did not like folk music.
Really?
No.
Why not?
No, I just
couldn't get into it.
I just never had any interest in it. And Stan Robertson, that ran the club at the time, was a great friend and a neighbour, and he said to me once, could I help him at the club? And I said, I don't know anything about folk music. He says, you don't need to know anything about folk music to take the money at the door. So I took the money at the door. and I'm still here.
Stan Robertson was he was the kind of main mover and shaker with the Marymass, the Folk Festival. You know, we Stan died a number of years ago. He was also the manager of the Magnum Centre when it first opened, and I think it opened in about 1977 as well. You know?
I remember the Magnum Centre. Yeah. Who doesn't?
And he used to bring folk acts to the Magnum Centre. You know, not just to the theatre, but he used to take them to the main hall. You know, and fill it. They used to have 1,500 people in the main hall of folk singers. You know.
And now the Magnum Centre's long gone.
It's long gone.
It's a huge loss to Irvine, because I mean you had the theatre, which it brought a lot of the kind of theatre companies to Irvine, and
we had some great folk concerts in the Magnum Theatre just before. Well, they never used it for a while, did they? You know, Fairport Convention, whole loads of people. You know.
The thing is, it's been closed for 2 years because of COVID. But when we open up again next year, you're struggling in Irvine. There is not a place to have lunchtime session.
Well,
The shit's shut.
Exactly.
No, there's nothing left. There's no pubs.
I
I used
know
to love the folk
but
sessions in the shop.
it's good to look back, but it's we look back to look forward, and we hope next year that the Marymass won't be cancelled, and we're back to normal. And it's always best to look back on what was, so that we can look forward to the future.
Yeah.
And
It'll be
it's good.
fantastic next year.
Abs-
Dallahan are
absolutely.
topping the bill on the Saturday night, the Buskers on the Friday night, Stephen and Pernilla, Hagerdash,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Stavanger Harbour Band will be here from Norway. So it's booked.
Was it already booked, Joyce?
It was booked.
All right,
Excellent.
okay. Did you hear that, Pernilla? We're booked for next year. That's great. So,
I would
superb.
have told you eventually.
Aye, that's
When
right.
is that?
The first Saturday after the third Monday
Right,
is Marymass Saturday, so just go the Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
brilliant.
Excellent.
I know. I listen. There's loads of people in this area. Loads of people in the whole of Ayrshire and beyond. I've got great memories of Marymass Folk Festival in the past. But as you say, it'll be back again next year.
Next year. Hopefully, fingers crossed to that. I'm pretty sure it will be, but it's always best to, again, like I said, to look back, to look forward to next year, as we cross everything to make sure
Aye.
that Marymass is back on.
That's right. I mean, we never thought we would be in this position this time last year. But I mean, it's the folk. The folk scene in Irvine it's been quite an important scene. It really
It has
has. It's
been,
been an
honestly.
important music scene. I mean, apart from the fact that they used to have the Marymass Folk Festival. Remember that we used to have Christmas folk festivals as well.
Christmas folk
We used to have
festival.
Christmas folk festivals.
Really?
And the Marymass Folk Festival now it lasts for about maybe 3 or 4 days, But back then it lasted for 9, 10 days,
Really?
with concerts, top of the bill, real sort of top-notch artists every night, and the places were packed. And I remember a few Christmas folk festivals. You remember them, Joyce? Aye?
I remember the Christmas Eve when Hamish Imlach was on stage and he asked for his wife to bring him another drink. And somebody said, "Oh, she's away to the midnight church service with Joyce."
So
and he fell off the stool.
so you mentioned there that it only lasts like 3 to 4 days now, the Christmas Folk Festival, and back in the day it used to last much longer. Why do you think it's shortened down now? Why do you think that?
Money.
The money?
Well, no, I'm not so sure it's just money. I think it's probably. I mean, the folk scene was at its the folk sort of scene and the folk revival in Scotland. I mean, it started in the 60s, but I mean, it was a real booming scene right up until the 80s.
So it was.
I mean, right up until the early 80s. So I mean, I just think the situation changed. There's a time for everything.
Do you think it might be a change in the music industry that has something to do with it?
Oh, definitely, mate. Aye, that's right. I mean, the folk scene that we are talking about, is very much removed now from the folk scene, the modern folk scene, where all the young people are getting involved and it's a different. They approach it in a different way, and it's the music's different, the music's brilliant. But it's a different type of music. It's a different way of performing it, So all these things have cycled,
See, we've got a strong club. There's 76 members, and that's great. But when you're booking young bands, a lot of them are instrumentally absolutely fantastic, but they will not have a singer.
Why not?
I don't know, but they'll not have a singer. A lot of the bands will not have a singer.
Oh.
I mean,
If we don't have a singer, our club will not sit for 3 hours and listen to instrumentals. It just.
I mean, it was a big boom in the 90s. That instrumentalists, fiddle players and instrumentalists, and they're all brilliant,
Well, terrific.
Aye, that's right. And it's that's a kind of scene of its own now. That kind of folk scene. And it's very good. But if you like a song, you like a song. That's it.
There's a sing-along crowd.
I
like
mean,
to
that's
sing.
a shame.
Aye, that's right.
Um,
Sing along. If they would sing in tune, that would be great.
Aye, that would
Joyce,
help. I hope you're not getting me.
But we'll cut to a quick break there. But please make sure to stay tuned, as we'll be continuing along with Joyce here and maybe Stephen, maybe.
Well, I might have to just sort of shoot the crow, mate.
Well, yeah. Well, thanks again for coming.
Yeah,
we
that's
enjoyed
great,
your pieces there.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Really enjoyed
Lovely.
it.
Cheers. Good.
Great.
Thanks.
We'll be back after this short break.
Welcome back.
No,
Oh, yeah. Welcome back. We have Joyce Hodge here. So you're doing a wee poem later on. Tell us about that.
This poem was written by a member, Willie Sinclair, and it was to be read by Archie Comrie, another member. He phoned me yesterday to say he tested positive for COVID, so I'm afraid it's down to me. It actually was written for me when I had an injured pigeon in my back garden. So this is the Scottish cure. A flock of doos, they flew overhead and landed for some mouldy breed. When Joyce come out, they all had gone, except for yin,
still on her lawn. A tear came in o'er Joyce's ee, as her wee dew it couldna flee. She fed it fish and chips and juice, but soon found out this was nae use. Next she tried some haggis and neeps, but still her birdie wouldna cheep. She tried some tatties steeped in mince, but couldna coax her flightless prince. Some stovies, they might do the trick. Nae such luck, it still felt sick. She tried a piece, a big outsider. The pair wee dew remained beside her. As she looked down, she gave a wink. You'll have to try mackerel and skink. It wouldna try her tasty soup, but wished that he could look the loop. Her last attempt, a Scottish drink, pulled her wee birdie frae the brink. He flapped his wings and off he flew, and all because of one brew.
Brilliant. It's a kind of very 20th century kind of poem, that one.
He does a lot of stuff and he's good. He's got a lot of COVID poems. And, I don't know. We didn't know he wrote poetry until we saw it on Facebook.
Oh, right.
He hadn't told us, but he's very good.
It was a very nice poem. So tell us more about like anything else more you could tell us about the poem, or no? No? Sorry.
Nothing much about the poem. The wee bird did survive. The RSPCA came and took it away, and it did survive.
That's good.
So tell us more about the folk festival. What does it mean to you, and what do you think it's done for the Marymass as a whole?
It's it's been a big bit of my life, but away early on, the big festival was struggling. The parade was struggling. And at that time, Stan Robertson was approached by certain members of council to see if the folk club could do something to
And Paul?
up it a bit. And that's when the festival started. But in the early days, it was absolutely mobbed.
Was it?
Absolutely. You could not have got a seat. If you were going for a concert starting at 8 o'clock, you weren't there for 7 o'clock, forget it. And we had stewards, they had armbands and everything. And there was one night, somebody come up and said, Joyce, your brother's at the door, will I just let him in? And I said, no, I'll come down, I would like to see this. I don't have a brother. When I went down, this chap just said, it's worth a try. So, no, and folk dropped in, Archie Fisher would just drop in, Barbara Dixon, a lot of big names. There was a big American come in and everybody couldn't believe he was there. I can't remember his name. But no, it was big time. And it was the 8 days, and then it came down to 5 days, and then it came down to 4 days. And then you've got to remember that most of the organisers now are in their 70s. So I mean, I'm 78 this year, so you can't keep going forever.
No.
So that's how I'm in the process of getting things handed over, split up and whatnot. So my plan is that I'm going to retire on my 80th birthday. If I last that long, I'll retire on the 80th birthday, and it'll be taken over. We hope it'll go on. It's looking hopeful.
Excellent.
So continuing with Marymass, what is your fondest memory?
Like there's that many. The Sands family.
Sands family.
The Sands family. They're just absolutely brilliant. I love them. And we were in the Sands came one year, and their dad, they called him the chief, and he was the finest fiddler in all Ireland. Never heard him play a fiddle yet. He had a wee drink problem, and he was drunk on the Marymass Saturday. Well, everybody that drank was drunk on Marymass Saturday. And I said to Tommy, what are you going to do with your dad? He's drunk. He says, oh, don't worry about him. We'll just take his shoes and his trousers away and he'll not go anywhere. So he was staying with Stan Robertson at the time. That's fine. Sands were just due to go on stage in the volunteer rooms at night when I got a phone call from a neighbour to say that there was a drunk Irishman walking down Livingston Terrace in his bare feet and long johns looking for a pub. And they had to go way up and get him. So that was the best, I think.
Yeah.
That was the best.
So any other events that are coming up for the Folk Festival and hopefully next year?
Next year will be Stephen and Pernilla. In fact, next year will be exactly the same programme as was for 2019. And that was cancelled, so I rebooked them for 2020.
And then COVID.
And now they're rebooked for 2021. The programme is done, everything's on file. You know, we know exactly when they're going on stage, when they're coming off stage. They're just going to be 2 years, 2 years later than we thought. But Gallahan, they're a big band, Saturday night, and they're quite happy to hold it to Stavanger. Stavanger Harper Band are a crowd for Norway. One of the guys actually, he's English, but he came to the club and he married an Irvine girl. But then he went to work in the oil field in Stavanger. Never saw him for 10, 15 years. And then all of a sudden I got an email to say that he had a band, this Stavanger Harper Band, and could come to Marymass. So they came the first time for a very low fee, but they brought just about half a Stavanger with them. So they come, there's 5 in the band, that they bring sometimes about 25, 30 folk with them.
Mm.
So it's a big boost, a big boost to the coffer. So they were coming this year, and they were positive that COVID wouldn't affect this year. So they had booked, they've booked their flights, they've booked their accommodation. So they've managed to cancel their accommodation, but they've kept the flight. So they're just coming in and going to Edinburgh. But they're no cancelling their Marymass weekend.
Great. That's about for this part, but we'll be back again. Next up we have Jodie Ray for another musical piece. So we'll be back after this quick break.